What's up, guys, and welcome to the Off the Line podcast brought to you by Your Football Journal. Today is the 15th of December 2020, and it's a Arsenal special episode. We got one of our great friends, Yusuf Zia, who's a diehard Arsenal fan, Guna, as they would say, and he's going to give us valuable opinions on the state that the club is in at the moment. So, look forward to hearing from him as well as we have George Paulos, our resident speaker here on Offline. He's also going to be in our conversation today. So sit back and enjoy the Arsenal rant, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share, comment, do all that good stuff. And let's get into it.
Roddy Yeager, Jagger wants it back. He gets it back and leaves it through for Holtby. Oh, it's off the line. It's off the line.
So we're going to start by looking into the game at the Emirates between Arsenal and Burnley. And Arsenal with another defeat. It's looking really, really bad for them. And Yusuf Zia, being a huge Arsenal fan since like I can remember, we're going to get your thoughts on this. What do you feel the problem with Arsenal is at the moment?
I have no idea, man. I just feel like these players right now don't have a spine. Like when things are going well, everyone's happy, everyone is performing well. But right now, since we got that big defeat at Aston Villa, it seems like everyone's confidence has dropped. We are doing well in the Europa League, but that's mainly just kids. And I think they should be given a chance in the Premier League right now because our first team is absolutely atrocious. We need something major, something needs to change definitely. And I don't think it's Arteta's fault. But also that doesn't mean he's not free of any blame. He definitely has screwed up a bit, and we need to acknowledge that. But I think we should give him time because he is an inexperienced manager, and his mistakes have been a result of that inexperience. And that was something the board had considered before hiring him. So if he's making those mistakes because of inexperience, he should be given more time. Definitely. Yeah.
You know what I feel the problem is? That I think Athletic did an article about this as well recently. It's that uh, Arteta's rewarding. This is actually the head title of the article. He's rewarding players who underperform, specifically Bellerin, Xhaka, just because of their experience. And it's so true. And I thought about this, and I also told you, Yusuf, after that game, that players like Bellerin and Xhaka don't deserve to wear the Arsenal shirt. It's the young boys that perform in Europa League that deserve to wear it. And it's like you said, they who should be given a chance. I don't know who else can play right back other than Bellerin. Um, will you could probably say that better. But I
See, we
mean,
have.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that we have other options to play at right back. We have Maitland Niles, but Maitland Niles also he is he needs to prove his consistency. And anyway, right now for sure, I think he's going to perform better than Bellerin because Bellerin is just really too bad right now. He doesn't deserve to be on that pitch at the moment. And Shaka, even though he's supposed to be such an experienced player, I don't know, he always keeps forgetting that he's prone to making these kind of errors, and it cost the whole team. We had Pepe do this few like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Yeah, and it's just not good enough. Definitely need way better from the players at Arsenal.
Yeah, and touching upon that confidence factor, I feel that there's no one in this team that the players can rely on to give them confidence. So if you take United, when United are playing badly, Bruno won't play badly. And Bruno will try to make and rally the team together. He'll run up and down the pitch, he'll do some shit, and he'll try to get everyone to play. And there's no one like that at Arsenal. Aubameyang should be this guy. In my opinion, it's supposed to be Aubameyang. But ever since he extended his contract, it's like he doesn't want to play for the club anymore. And it's really sad because in the build up to him signing the contract, he was just performing outrageously ever since that FA Cup run. And even at the start of the season, when like, in the opening weekend, he was playing really well. And I don't know, after he signed the contract, I think all that fanfare has just died down. That whole hype has died down. And it seems as if though once the spotlight had shifted from him, he just couldn't care anymore. And I expect him to be that talisman for Arsenal so that when you guys are playing badly, so that the kids can look up to him. Because there's a lot of youngsters in the Arsenal squad, but they just have no one there to instill confidence. And I think that's a major factor as to why you underperform the games.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But if you're telling me that there's no player who actually rallies the team, I think we have two players who do try motivating the team, and that is on the left side. We have Tierney and Saka. Even though they're not as vocal as they should be, I think they should really just get at it and scream at all the other players, even though they're much younger than everyone. But they actually do perform and put in so much effort, and their work rates are actually really nice to see. It would be nice if we got that from our other experienced, so-called experienced players. And about Aubameyang, I guess the league got used to him. They know what he's capable of. And if you just look at his style of play, yeah, of a lot of people will say he's like Thierry Henry, but yeah, he's good. He can finish, but he's bit I mean, like single dynamic. Like I don't know if that even if that's the right way to say it, but yeah, I don't think he is. I don't think he's deserving to be captain anyway because he doesn't have the confidence to do it. Like no way. Yeah, it's a bit of a sad situation that we have as Aubameyang as captain. It was just to make him sign the contract, I guess, that they made him the captain. But it just feels a bit desperate. Like if someone doesn't want to play for the club and if they want to leave and if they're making them such stupid, if they're keeping the club hostage in some situation, then they should definitely go. If you don't have commitment for the club, just don't stay.
Yeah, and
Simple as
Yeah, and
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you on that. And especially after that whole Granit Xhaka debacle that happened a couple of seasons ago. I was really surprised that he's still at the club, and moreover, like he still gets to play as often as he does. The fact of the matter is, like, we can take this back to like the whole owner situation that's been going on for a long time. Do you think that uh, the owners and like the management is still holding this club at this position? They're not letting it increase its potential. Or what do you think about that these days?
No, I don't know. If you think about it from the club owner's perspective, they want the club to be successful, obviously, because that brings them more money. So if that's the case, then they really would want the club to do well. And right now, it's 100% sure that it's way below what even the board were expecting. And yeah, it just seems like it can't get any worse than this. But let's see what happens. We have a few more games coming up, and definitely we need some wins, especially home. We have a game against Southampton next, and I have no idea how that's gonna go. We're probably gonna have Danny Ings come in and score some stupid ass goal.
Yeah. I mean,
That's definitely gonna happen now. Just wait and watch.
Yeah, I mean, Ings is just a master finisher, and like that Southampton team when they played against United as well, and like they've been on really good form, so they're definitely going to cause Arsenal problems, even if Arsenal were playing well. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a really good watch for sure.
So in that Burnley game, there was one chance which Wood had initially. Like he had one of the first chances for Burnley where he got a cross in, and at that time, holding, he was so out of position. I was just screaming at him. It was just too bad to watch. He was given such a free header, and you know what Wood can do. He's good at that.
Yeah,
Like it hit the post and it went out. I think that's what happened. Yeah, but I mean that's just too bad, man. And also we have an injury crisis at the back. We don't have our main defenders, but Holding was supposed to be one of those consistent players who does well or at least show some effort. But I don't know. Past few games, I haven't seen that from him either. I don't know what's gonna happen. Gabriel has been a good signing. He has been doing well, and he has won our Player of the Month for the past 3 months. Like that means something, but still, it says that everyone else is underperforming. That this defender has to bail us out of all these situations, and still we don't manage to win.
yeah.
another thing I want to ask you: do you think that there are just too many average players in that team? I think United suffer with the same problem, that there are just so many average players, and effort can only get you so far. At the end of the day, you need to be talented. You need to have the football know-how and the commitment to the club, as you said before. Is that the
Man,
problem
not
that the squad is facing at the moment? Would you say?
I don't know, man. Just look at Leeds, for example. You wouldn't say that any single player of that team is like super world class or high level. Like they are good players, we know that, and I'm sure that the players at Arsenal also can perform at that level. It's just that I just feel like there's no cohesion or teamwork right now going on. And also, I feel the players are a bit nervous when they get on pitch. Like Arteta is giving them some sort of complicated instructions and they're not able to understand for some reason. Like in this Burnley game, when Tierney used to go up, Shaka used to come and fill at left back, and what's his name? El Neni, he was there right in the middle with no one else to support him. So it was like a very weird formation, and it was just very bad to see. Like we had so many, it was overloaded up front, but then there was no way to get the ball there without putting a long ball in, and which Burnley obviously would head it out. So it was just very frustrating to watch that game. And also once he got sent off, it was just pretty much done. I was just hoping for a draw after that, but Aubameyang had to go and score that awesome header.
Brilliant, brilliant finish at the near post as well. And finally, I do want to know what your thoughts are on the Mesut Ozil situation as well, because like from the outside looking in, it looks like a complete mess, the entire situation, and like
Yeah.
that team is crying for someone creative. We don't know if Ozil is that person anymore or that player anymore, but having that kind of world class option and not even putting him in the squad, uh, that has to be frustrating to see.
Okay, so when he was initially omitted from the squad, I was actually supportive of that decision because I thought that Ozil never showed the work rate. I don't know. It was just very frustrating to watch him play. Like when he was in a situation where he was uncomfortable, he used to sometimes just give up and just walk around, and that was like just not good to see. But right now, I think when we look at this team, especially against a team like Burnley, where we are expected to control all this possession, and I mean, we are expected to control the game, and we had so much control of the game in terms of possession. But if we had Ozil in that situation, that would just keep these Burnley players like they'd be like, oh shit, Ozil's on the pitch. We have to like guard him. Something he's capable of doing something crazy, and we all know that, and we can't just leave him alone. So it would just add that bit of tension amongst their backline, and they would also be like they'd also have to regroup and organize, and that would leave some gaps for Arsenal to exploit. Right now, we just don't have that threat anymore. Like Aubameyang is there, but pretty much he's like the only threat.
Yeah. And also,
It's a weird situation.
I want to add about that the fact that Arsenal have a lot of average players. I think it's we can never put the blame on Arteta because he's kind of revived players like um, El Neni, Granit Xhaka, and he's literally doing what he can with these players. So yes, Arsenal do have this insane bank of average players. But then I think Arteta is really trying to play football with them. So any Arsenal fan that says that points a finger at Arteta, I don't agree. I just think that Arsenal have to just get rid of these average players and buy players like Gabriel. I think Gabriel was such a good signing in terms of what you in terms of like who he was in the market. He wasn't this a player that everyone's after. Like he's not a Sancho, he's not a Haaland, he's not that kind of a player, but he was still highly rated. And I think those are the kind of players that Arsenal should go for. And that Hosum Aur, or however you pronounce it, I think that would be a really good attacking midfield option for Arsenal. And and kind of puts players like Ceballos, which who I don't rate anymore. I did at one point, but not anymore, and would really put him on the sidelines and you get proper talent into that squad because that's what's lacking. I think your youngsters are really good, like Saka, Willock, and Ketia. I think they're really talented, but again, he's just trying to make do with all these bang average players, and that's why you're in this situation.
Like when you expect to watch Arsenal, you expect to see some good free flowing football, but the players we have right now are not capable of it. Shaka and Elneny, they are not as good technically as you would need to be to play that kind of football. Shaka, yeah, he can pass, but in close quarter situations, he's not as good. His first touch sometimes lets him down. I mean, it's not that good. We can't have those kind of people in the team. Like definitely not Arsenal quality. But to be honest, if you think about it, when Wenger was manager, we used to get by with the team with Juru and Squillaci and Chamak, and that time we still kind of performed. We even finished fourth place even with that team. But also, I guess you have to consider the standard of the Premier League has also gone up way high right now, and you just can't slip up. You can't make those mistakes anymore. Even the smaller, so-called smaller teams, they have the capability to punish you if you make a mistake. You just can't. It's not. There's no room for any error right now. Yeah, everything has to be perfect. Like if you look at Liverpool's win last season, they had like an almost perfect season, and even Man City before that, they had like a crazy perfect season. And you need that kind of a team, and you need that kind of consistency to do anything in the Premier League right now. And the only two teams capable of that are Man City and Liverpool right now. And yeah, I don't know.
I also want to say that how toxic the social media Arsenal fan presence is. I don't. I think I know all fans
Horrible.
have. I know all fans have like a social media presence, which is really bad. But how the degree of how vocal the Arsenal fans are, especially AFTV. I mean, how they slate players week in, week out. How they slate managers and rack up millions of views for their videos is nothing but detrimental to that club. And
Yeah,
I think they do play a part in player in the drop of player confidence, because that is one of the main reasons why Arsenal are playing badly. And I think the fans are to blame, and they're not, because I was just going through Arsenal fan TV videos, and more than half of them have titles which say Arteta out, and which is really sad to say. I don't know what Arsenal fans, especially these vocal ones, expect. Do they expect a manager to just come and win the Premier League in his first season and not drop any points? And I don't understand. It's just incredibly high standards that Arsenal fans put their team, or any team. I mean, like, no fans put their team at such high standards. And when they don't meet those standards, the way that they slate players online, I don't approve of that.
I mean, that's a very good point. Social media has been a big influence in world football generally, but Arsenal especially, because with this Arsenal fan TV, it was one of those first platforms which gained so much popularity, and players got involved. Players started talking to these people, and even the people who come on these interviews on Arsenal fan TV, they just come in and they just scream and shout, and it's like they try to get so much attention on them, and it's kind of weird to be honest. Like I don't know, maybe since si- I've never been to England, so I don't know how it is, but we never used to get this news about fans ranting back in the day. It used to just be like you just go see how the season goes, support the team through the whole season, and at the end of the season you come together and you discuss what went wrong, what went right. But until then, you have to support the players and you have to support the manager 100% no matter what. We don't have that. How can you like sit in a stadium and boo your own players, man? Like that's not good. You can't do that to these players. And also, I feel like it's kind of a psychological thing for these players as well, since they have access to all this information and all these opinions of all these fans, so-called fans. And yeah, definitely it should make problems to their game, right? Just think about it. Like before this, they'll be reading all these posts saying how shit they are doing, and they have so much pressure to like, oh, I have to change public opinion and all that. It's kind of weird, man. It's a weird time we live in.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it definitely affects the players for sure, and you can see that uh, it's visually, you can see it visually on the Arsenal team and the imprint on those guys make. But like, uh, where they are coming from is like for as long as they can remember, Arsenal have been, in the upper echelons of English football. So their point of view is we need to be there, we should be there. That's our rightful place, which I'm sure you don't disagree with, Yusuf. But like the way they need to come up with a more constructive way to let people know of this because they're influencing too much. Now, if Arteta goes and if we probably lose this next round of games, you can say that they're going to sack him because of the public demand for it. So we need to talk about that as well. Is there anyone that can come in and change the outlook of this club at this point, or would you just
I
stick on till the next season at least?
I would definitely stick on with Arteta, man. You can't expect instant changes like this. Like Wenger at Arsenal, he was there for like what? He came in 1996. That was the year I was born. Since then, he's been at Arsenal, so it's kind of like he's the dad of Arsenal. He's been like my dad all this time, and we've been going through so many stepdads, and they have no idea what to do for this club. And you need to give them time, man. You need to get them adapt and adjust, and it takes time, definitely. Like you're not gonna expect instant success, especially with a team like Arsenal and the squad we have. It definitely needs a rebuild. Like you can't expect instant results, man. It's such a weird thing to have. Like, yeah, definitely you want to see improvements, which we're not seeing right now. But I think we definitely need to give time and see at the end of the season how it's going, at least before making a decision. Like, sacking him now would be a very, very bad move, I feel, because it's just going to set up the next season also for instability.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think you hit it right on the head of the nail because like people have to be more patient. If you think back, even when Ferguson came into United, he wasn't doing too hot. Like until like he started making an imprint on the team. And even when Pep came to City, he didn't win the league the first season, and they were patient with him. And then you can see what happened. I'm not saying that I don't think Arteta is the man for the job, but uh, chopping and changing managers are not going to help either.
Definitely
Even if
not the
it's
solution. And
even if it's
I
Allegri or whoever it is.
like you had mentioned about Ferguson and Guardiola coming in. When Ferguson came into Manchester United did not have the stature they had when Ferguson left, not even close, right? So
Yeah,
he definitely didn't have that much pressure. Every other manager who came in, David Moyes, he was standing there like he didn't know what even he was supposed to do. Like it's just so much pressure, man. You can't expect like to just get into these kind of clubs with such big stature and just expect everything to go smoothly. Like especially if a manager, like they have to handle everything. Like you'll
yeah,
have all these high profile players in your club who will have their own personalities and attitudes and they'll have their own brands and stuff. So you have to manage all that. It's very weird, man. And everyone expects instant results these days. Like there's no time for a build and everyone's very impatient. I don't know. It's just very sad to see all these Arsenal fans melting down right now. I wish that everyone just got behind the team, man. Just support the team. Even if you're doing bad, just support the team. Whatever happens.
yeah. Well, you can say that they should be doing that, and we did see the Arsenal team move. I mean, get into better form the end of last season, but this season, like, there is a visible decline again.
Hmm.
So, what do you do from this point? Like, from these crop of players, because you have them till the end of the season. I doubt you're going to sign anyone in January. I haven't heard of anything, any rumors
No.
of anyone. So, what do? You need to change something. Is it going to be tactical? Is it a motivational thing?
I think
Or has Arteta put an imprint on this team that you can see?
Arteta has put an imprint on this team. I feel like they are actually trying to. I mean, until the Aston Villa game, anyway, I saw like good closing down and good work rates from the team, and I was so impressed. Like Arteta come on, really made some change. But just feels like once that confidence went down, they just started remembering all those bad days with Unai Emery and all those days of bad form, and it just probably came back to bite them mentally. And that's what we're seeing right now. If I was Arteta for the next game, I would definitely make changes to the team and bring youngsters in because we need we need some people who are willing to fight for the badge, man. Like definitely, that's the only thing we need right now. I don't care if you're technical, just go out and give all. Like to do that. If you do that, you can get in the team. I guess that's a very simple-minded way of looking at it, but whatever.
No, at this point, it does look like that's what's needed. And more than anything else, Arsenal look complicated on the ball. Like they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, and they overthink
Yeah,
things, and that's not getting them anywhere at the same time. And they
exactly.
make too many mistakes. And this red card thing also. What is it? 7 red cards from the start of last season. That's more than half of the of the next team.
Shit.
So that there's definitely a discipline problem as well. And just after the Pepe incident, to see Xhaka do that, that needs to get sorted
Definitely needs to
out.
get sorted out. I did not know that we had like 7 red cards, but yeah, it is just really bad, man. Like even after that, El Neni, he almost choked another Burnley player and he was almost sent off for that. I don't know what gets into these people's heads, man. Like seriously. Like, just calm down and just figure things out. Like seriously. You're on the football pitch, a lot of millions of people are watching. You have to set example for so many other kids who are watching. And also other young players who are coming up. You can't just fight and I don't know, maybe Roy Keane will disagree with me, but I don't know. Very weird. You can't do all that stuff. You need to show some discipline because if you get a red card, you're just ruining all chance for your team to get back and especially with the situation Arsenal are in right now. What Xhaka did is absolutely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. That is the Arsenal story at the moment. And we go from there. We'll watch their performance against Southampton. To better hope for a good result. Otherwise, I think the pressure on him is going to be like at an all-time high, where we could be like a loss away from being sacked.
But
Unfortunately,
one
that's
thing
just the
which
life.
I'm thinking about, I would. This is probably contradicts everything I say about wanting to support the club, but I think that Arsenal need a break from European competitions. If players don't want to play, if you want to leave, if you're being a snob for the Champions League, just get out of the club. We have to sort some things out and go at it again. Like Chelsea, when they lost out their spot in the Champions League, they pretty much came back to where they used to be. I think, right? Didn't they do that? Yeah, we need that. We definitely need something. We like it just feels like, and also when you play Thursday and then you travel all the way and you come and play on
Yeah,
Sunday, it's damn weird, man. Like also right now we are gonna get into the knockout stages of the league, and I don't think Arteta is gonna play the youngsters anymore for for those games because it's important. Because definitely we'd want to win the Europa League to get into the Champions League next season. I mean, I
yeah,
think
but
yeah,
those Thursday games is going to be like super hard for Arsenal and United as well. My God, bloody idiots went and scored that out. But yeah, but I think like you're right. The Europa League, especially, is a really bad distraction for these teams, especially at the
but
moment. I think even for United, it's not going to be good to be
but
in the Europa League.
but I guess that's a bit arrogant of us as fans as well. Like it's definitely 100% I can agree that Arsenal are definitely not anywhere close to the stature of what they used to be. And the way we are playing right now, we don't even deserve to be playing in the Europa League, to be honest. But I don't feel like we deserve to be in the Champions League or deserve to be in the Europa League just because we're Arsenal. Like we have to play and do well and earn those spots because there are so many other teams trying to get those spots as well.
Yeah, fair enough. That definitely, sounds about right. Like you play for the spot that you deserve, and it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Like, and this time, the festival period is when like there's going to be a lot of games and probably more injuries in this insane season that we're having. It's going to be tough for everyone, and Arsenal more than anything need to show or show bottle. Like they need to. It's a mentality thing for them at this point more than them playing because I guess like on the day anyone can be really good, right? So it's just how Arteta is going to bring that out in this crop of players.
Definitely, because I have seen anyway what these players are capable of, and they are definitely capable of having like really good dominant games, and they are also capable of having absolute Derby County type levels of performance. Back in the day, Derby County, not I'm sure they're playing
Yeah,
well now. I don't know how they're doing, but still,
Clayton
man, it's
Derby
just
County for nothing.
it's. I mean, it used to be a joke back in the day, man. I don't know if you remember, but still,
Yeah, yeah, I do.
it's just not good enough. Definitely not good enough. But I really don't think sacking Arteta is the way to go. And I think I am going to advocate Ozil to be registered again for the second half of the season. Even though I was against it for the first half, I think we really need him right now. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely need him.
Start a petition, and actually, Yusuf, Derby County are
Oh, okay.
22nd in the league, so they're still shit.
Okay, cool.
Isn't Roni the
Point
manager?
stands.
Isn't Wayne
And
Rooney the manager?
point stand. Rooney is, yeah, he is, but he just took over like
Yeah, I think he's
a
like a
month
player
ago.
manager. He's like a player manager.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So on that bombshell, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you, Yusuf, for joining us and giving your thoughts on the situation at Arsenal. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to see that perspective of the team as well. So join us again soon, Yusuf, I would say.
Will do. Thank you for having me.
And George, always a pleasure having you on board.
Definitely,
And we will
man.
be coming back with another episode of the rest of the games or rest of the important games. So join us for that. And in the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. This is the Off the Line podcast brought to you by Your Football Journal. See you next time.